welcome back to the deep dive. So I want you to take a second and just look at the date. It's February 10th, 2026. And if you look at the stack of research we have on the desk today, it really feels like we are living in a split reality. It's honestly a little disorienting.
It really does. It feels like two completely different worlds are operating at the exact same time, just pulling us in opposite directions.
Exactly. On one side, you've got this intense, high-tech, almost suffocating level of control.
Yeah.
We're talking algorithms scanning your luggage at the molecular level, insurance deadlines that carry, lifetime financial penalties. It's heavy stuff.
And then on the other side.
You flip the coin and there's this desperate, almost frantic search for comfort.
But it's not just any comfort. It's synthetic comfort. We're seeing people, fighting over king crabs at Costco for good luck.
Right.
Watching hours of videos of people just organizing their fridges to calm down. And this is the one that really got me, using AI to generate synthetic whispers.
Because real human voices are just too loud?
Too loud, too messy.
So the mission today is to really understand that tension. We're going to walk through the minefield of 2026 travel and healthcare. And then we are going to look at the bizarre, high-tech ways we are all trying to soothe our anxiety.
Sounds like a plan. It's a collision of high stress and high-tech relaxation.
So I want to start with a scenario. Imagine you're traveling. You've just landed.
Okay.
You've got a tin of loose leaf tea bought for your aunt. Maybe you're a little stressed about your new Medicare enrollment and you just want to get home.
Right.
In 2026, that simple trip is a lot more dangerous than it used to be.
Dangerous is the right word. The sources are very clear on this.
Yeah.
The era of the random check at the airport is officially dead.
So no more officer looks you in the eye to see if you're sweating.
That is ancient history. If you're traveling in 2026, you need to understand full volume pre-screening.
Okay.
The inspection now happens before you even see your bag on the carousel.
And this isn't just like a guy with a dog behind the wall.
No. This is a massive shift to 3D CT scanning combined with AI image recognition. But here's the key technical difference that the sources all point to.
What's that?
It's not just looking for shapes anymore. It's looking for atomic numbers and density.
Hold on, break that down. When you say atomic numbers, are you saying the scanner is analyzing the actual chemistry of my luggage?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
To an old X-ray, a tin of tea was just a dense blob.
Right.
To the 2026 scanners, the AI can distinguish the organic fiber density of tea leaves versus, say, tobacco. You can look at a wine bottle and analyze the fluid density to tell if it's a standard Merlot or a high-density vintage spirit.
That is wild. So you can't just say, oh, it's just tea if it's actually something else. The machine knows the molecular fingerprint.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really, really tricky for the traveler. The AI is programmed to hunt for what they call logical anomalies.
Logical anomalies. It sounds a little dystopian. Give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you have that tin of tea, but the density inside is uneven, and the scanner detects, a metallic spring structure buried in the middle. The AI flags it immediately.
Not as tea.
Not as tea, but as vape components hidden inside a tea container.
Which brings us to the three traps that were in the briefing. Tobacco, alcohol, and tea. I get the first two, but why is tea a trap?
So this is what they're calling the biological bomb concept. We usually think of tea as a dry good, safe.
Yeah.
But in 2026, biosecurity laws have tightened drastically. We're talking about global pest variation.
So it's not about drugs, it's about bugs.
Precisely. If you have loose leaf tea, or specifically tea with dried fruit peels, like a citrus pure, that is now viewed as a potential carrier for bacteria or pests.
So it's not an agricultural product anymore.
It's a biosecurity risk.
And if you get flagged, is it just a throw it away and move on kind of thing?
I wish. The penalties have escalated. It's not just a tax, it's a falsified reporting penalty. The standard is now 3 times the value of the goods, plus a top-tier fine, often around $100 or more on top. But the money isn't even the real problem.
It's the record, right?
It's the data sharing.
Yeah.
Immediate cancellation of multi-year visas is on the table. And here's the really scary part.
Okay.
If you get fined in, say, Sydney for bringing in too many cigarettes, and by the way, the limit in Australia is now 25 cigarettes.
25. That is 1 pack plus like 5 loose ones. That's nothing.
It's nothing. But if you mess that up in Australia, that data is shared globally. So when you try to enter the US or China later, you are automatically flagged as a high risk for smuggling. You lose your global entry, you lose your trusted traveler status everywhere.
That is terrifying. It's like your luggage has a permanent criminal record that follows you around the world.
That's the reality of the algorithmic border. It's efficient, but it is so unforgiving.
Speaking of unforgiving government systems with permanent records, we need to pivot. Let's talk about something affecting millions of people domestically right now. The 2026 overhaul of Medicare.
This is huge. If you have parents or if you're approaching 65 yourself, you really, really need to pay attention to this.
Let's unpack it, because usually when we talk about healthcare changes, it's just boring paperwork.
Right.
But this year, the sources are screaming about some massive changes to the red and blue card. Let's start with the good news, because there is actually some good news.
The good news is significant. For the first time ever, Medicare Part D has actually negotiated drug prices directly with manufacturers.
Wow.
This was the third rail of politics for decades. Nobody wanted to touch it. But in 2026, it is reality.
And the price drops aren't just pennies. I'm looking at the list here. Eliquis, Jardiance, and Brel. These are blockbuster drugs.
These are the top 10 drugs. Eliquis for blood thinning, Jardiance for diabetes, Enbrel for arthritis. The sources indicate price drops from 38% all the way up to 79%.
79%. That is life-changing for someone on a fixed income.
It absolutely is. It changes the math of retirement for a lot of people. And to add to that, the donut hole is gone.
The coverage gap.
Right. It's officially closed. There is now a hard $2,000 annual out-of-pocket cap for prescription drugs.
So once you hit that $2,000,
You pay zero for the rest of the year.
that seems surprisingly helpful. But I also saw some invisible benefits in the stack that aren't getting as much press.
Yes, these are flying way under the radar. Vaccines for shingles, tetanus, and whooping cough are now completely free, zero copay.
Okay.
But the one that I think is most impactful is the new coverage for caregiver training.
What does that mean exactly?
Medicare will now actually pay for training family members to care for patients with dementia or mobility issues.
Wow.
It's an acknowledgement that family members are effectively unpaid nurses, and it gives them the skills they need.
That's a massive cultural shift. But knowing how these systems work, there has to be a stick to go with the carrot. What's the trap?
The trap is the lifetime penalty. And in 2026, they are enforcing the enrollment windows with brutal efficiency.
And this is for Part B and Part D.
Both. If you miss your window to sign up for Part B, which is medical, or Part D for drugs, the penalty isn't a one-time fee.
Right.
It is added to your premium every single month for the rest of your life.
So you are paying for that one mistake forever.
Forever. It's cumulative. And there is a specific, just devastating trap for people who are still working past 65.
Right. The small company trap. Explain this to me like I'm 5, because this seems like where people are going to get ruined.
Okay, so imagine you're 66. You work for a small graphic design firm, maybe 15 employees.
Okay.
You have health insurance through your job, so you think, I'm good. I don't need to sign up for Medicare yet. I'll do it when I retire.
Sounds logical. Why pay for Medicare if I have work insurance?
Because under federal law, if the company has fewer than 20 employees, Medicare is the primary payer. Your company insurance is secondary.
So that means
That means if you get sick, you go to the hospital, your company insurance will look at the bill and say, we only pay what Medicare doesn't cover.
But if you didn't sign up for Medicare...
Medicare pays nothing,
Oh, no.
and your company insurance pays almost nothing. You are effectively uninsured, even though you are paying for insurance at work. You're left holding the entire bill.
That is a loophole you could drive a truck through. It just feels like the systems around us, whether it's border scanners or insurance rules, are getting so incredibly rigid.
They are.
If you step 1 inch out of line, you get crushed.
It creates this background radiation of anxiety. You have to be perfect. You have to know the molecular density of your tea and the employee count of your company.
Which brings us to the human response. When the external world feels this controlled and this high stakes, how do people cope? What do they do to feel better?
Well, looking at our sources, they do two things. They try to buy luck, and they try to manufacture order.
Let's talk about the luck first. We have some incredible footage from the Shanghai Costco during the 2026 Lunar New Year.
It's such a fascinating contrast. There's all this talk in the macro economy about consumption downgrades, people spending less, saving more.
Economy slowing down, yeah?
But you look at the footage from Shanghai, and it is absolute pandemonium.
It looked like a mosh pit, but for groceries.
Exactly. People are buying $11.99 RMB king crabs like they're giving them away.
And those giant statues, did you see the Five Roads God of Wealth? Seems like people aren't just buying food, they're buying hope.
They're buying good omens. In a high-pressure environment, you want symbols of wealth, of rising step by step. That's why you see that frantic energy around the high-end protein Wagyu lobster.
Yeah.
It's an assertion of vitality. It's saying, I am still here, and I can still afford the best.
It's almost defiant, like the world is crazy, but I am going to eat this king crab.
Right. It's a way to grab some control back through consumption, but then you flip the channel and you see the total opposite trend.
Yeah.
We have this source on Ikebana Japanese flower arranging and something called immersive storage.
This is the retreat to stillness. The Ikebana tutorial we looked at focused on pine and Anastasia chrysanthemums for the new year. But what's interesting is the method. They teach a bottom-up arranging technique.
Which is different. Usually flower arranging is so artistic and intuitive, it's about feeling the space. But this is technical.
Yeah, they called it a fail-safe method. Why is that significant? Usually art is about expression, not playing it safe.
That's the key to understanding the mindset of 2026. This bottom-up method. Building the base first to create stability, it guarantees you an 80 out of 100 score.
So it's appealing because it offers control.
Ah, I see. In a chaotic world, here is a set of steps that guarantees you beauty.
Exactly. It prevents overcrowding. It's a metaphor for what people are craving. They don't want the risk of a bad arrangement. They want the certainty of a decent one.
They want a system that works.
And speaking of craving systems that work, we have to talk about immersive storage. This trend is exploding on Bilibili and YouTube. People are just watching other people restock their fridges.
The term they use for it is fantastic. Electronic pickled vegetables.
I love that term. Explain it.
It means it's a digital side dish, something you consume while you're doing something else, like eating dinner.
Okay.
And it's hours of empty bottle challenges, organizing huge hauls of groceries, color-coding the pantry.
It sounds so boring on paper, but I watched a clip and it's oddly hypnotic.
It's visual ASMR. It's about creating order out of chaos. When you can't control the customs regulations or the drug prices, you can watch someone perfectly align 30 cans of soda in a fridge.
It's satisfying. Click, click, click. Everything fits.
It soothes the brain's need for pattern and predictability. It's a way to vicariously tidy up your life.
Which leads us perfectly to the final and honestly the most sci-fi part of our stack today. We've talked about organizing physical objects for comfort. Now let's talk about synthetic comfort. We all know ASMR people whispering into microphones to give you the tingles, but now AI is coming for the whisperers.
This is the Deep ASMR paper. And it solves a problem I didn't even know existed in technology.
Which is?
That computers are terrible at whispering.
Really? I feel like I've heard Siri or Alexa use a quiet voice.
You've heard a quiet voice, but not a true whisper. In technical terms, standard text-to-speech models, they rely on voicing.
Voicing.
Put your hand on your throat and say, feel that vibration.
Yeah, it's buzzing.
That's voicing. Now say, sit.
No vibration.
Exactly. That is unvoiced. A real whisper is almost entirely unvoiced. It's just breath and air turbulence.
And standard AI can't help but vibrate.
Right. It creates a buzz that just kills the ASMR effect.
Yeah.
It ruins the illusion of intimacy.
So how does Deep ASMR fix this?
It's pretty ingenious. They built a framework that separates the style from the timbre. It uses what they call a flow-matching acoustic decoder.
Okay, that's a mouthful. Simplify that for me.
Think of it like a very advanced filter. You give it a 3-second clip of a normal speaking voice. It could be your voice, my voice. The timbre is the identity, the thing that makes you sound like you. The style is the whisper.
Yeah.
The AI strips away the vocal cord vibration, but keeps the identity structure.
And it's zero shot. It doesn't need to hear me whisper first.
Zero shot. It reconstructs your voice as a whisper from scratch. And they achieved a global unvoiced ratio of about 74%.
74% unvoiced. That's the magic number for the tingles.
Apparently so. It mimics the intimacy of human breath much better than commercial models like 11 Labs.
Yeah.
But here's the detail in the paper that just made me laugh.
What?
To train this AI, they had to create a massive database of ASMR audio's 670 hours of it. But they had to apply a curious filter.
Oh, I saw this in the notes. They explicitly filtered out ear eating.
Yes. ASMR is a broad church, and apparently there is a whole subgenre involving wet mouth sounds.
Ear eating? That sounds horrifying.
It's very specific. But the researchers had to teach the AI not to make those noises. They want to focus on storytelling, role play, makeup tutorials, pure narrative intimacy without the squelch.
It's just wild to think about. We have technology scanning our luggage for molecular anomalies to keep us out, and technology filtering out ear eating to create the perfect synthetic bedtime story to keep us calm.
It really paints a picture of 2026, doesn't it? It's a world of extreme precision.
It does. And I want to circle back to where we started to wrap this up. We have these two worlds colliding.
Right. On one hand, you have the high control world. You travel, you get scanned, you age, you face penalties,
The systems are rigid, data-driven, unforgiving.
and you are constantly being measured against a standard, whether it's the density of your tea or the date of your enrollment.
And in response, we retreat into high comfort. But notice something about the comfort we're choosing. It's becoming synthetic.
How so?
We aren't just organizing our own homes, we are watching videos of other people organizing. We aren't just talking to our partners. We are considering using deep ASMR to generate a soothing voice that never gets tired, never has a bad day.
And never has vocal fry. That's the provocation I want to leave everyone with today. The Deep ASMR paper talks about generating synthetic intimacy. As this tech gets better at faking the imperfections, the breaths, the pauses, the unvoiced frames, will we eventually prefer it?
That is the big question. Real human interaction is messy. People breathe too loud, they interrupt, they have moods. A synthetic whisper is consistent. It's perfectly calibrated to soothe you. If you can have the comfort without the friction of a real person, how many of us will make that trade?
It's a tempting trade when you've just spent 3 hours in a customs line explaining why your tea isn't a biological bomb.
Exactly. The more stressful the real world gets, the more appealing the synthetic world becomes. It's easier to listen to a machine than to deal with a human.
It's a feedback loop, and I don't think we know how to break it yet.
Well, on that slightly terrifying note, I think I'm going to go organize my pantry using the bottom-up method.
Don't forget to check your Part B enrollment window while you're at it.
Good call. And my vaccination records. Thanks for diving in with us. Take care of yourselves, watch out for the tea traps, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.